the roll, please.
Mr. Cole?
Here.
Mr. Hamilton?
Here.
Mr. Knight?
Here.
Mr. Kavesky?
Here.
Mrs. Davis?
Here.
Pledge. Pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we need a motion to adopt the agenda.
I so move we adopt the agenda.
Second. Okay, call the roll, please.
Mrs. Davis?
Aye.
Mr. Knight?
Aye.
Mr. Hamilton?
Aye.
Mr. Cole?
Aye.
Mr. Kavesky?
Aye.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes of the special meeting March 26th and the regular meeting March 20th. And I'd like to waive the reading of the minutes and accept them as written.
Second.
Any questions? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Kavesky?
Aye.
Mr.
Aye.
Cole?
Aye.
Mrs. Davis?
Aye.
Mr. Knight?
Aye.
Mr. Hamilton?
Aye.
Okay, the school report speaks the month.
Okay. Hey, at this time, and tonight's supposed to be, honestly, there's supposed to be 4 people here tonight, but instead there's 1, and we're going to bring her up and excited to have her. If you wouldn't mind coming up, Zoe Essig, who is one of our April Wildcats of the month. So Zoe, if you wouldn't mind coming forward, there you go. I appreciate it. Thank you. Zoe, I'm going to hand you this. Okay, so you actually get 2 shirts now. I'm also going to give you this card. And then I'm going to take a second here and read you a little bit about Zoe, since you're the only one. If you want to ad-lib a little bit or add in there, but you need to probably face up your parents so they can get pictures and video and go from there. So, hey guys, this is Zoe Essex, and obviously Zoe's a senior. She has been a member of the National Honor Society for 2 years here at Canton South. Also a member of the National Technical Honor Society for 2 years. She's been a member of our Bleacher Creatures for 4 years. In sports, she's done volleyball all 4 years. She has done track for 1 year. What year was that, Zoe? Sophomore year, okay. Here, ready to go. For community involvement, she's done lots of different things for community service, and she's also worked within the intensive needs collaboration. She's a member of our sports medicine program that we have here at Canton South High School as well. Her parents are here with us tonight, Tristan and Will Essex. After graduation, Zoe plans to attend Walsh University and pursue a career in nursing. Zoe's questions, or that we asked them to fill out questions here. She said, what hashtag would summarize your high school experience? And she put hashtag, what a roller coaster. And I think that would summarize it very much, especially anybody that's gone through the pandemic like you kids have here. If you could sit on a park bench for an hour with anyone, I like this answer quite a bit. My favorite actor as well. Adam Sandler was the correct answer. One point in time I could quote every line to Happy Gilmore, just so you know, ready to go. What is your favorite Adam Sandler movie? Oh, The Waterboy, okay, good, I like it. What is the best thing about being a teen? And Zoe said, being mature enough to think for yourself, but not yet having the responsibility of being an adult. Guys, tonight we're supposed to have 4 of our students here because we do April and May together. Zoe was the only one that we had confirmed. There were some conflicts with some other people, but you know, we say this all along, and I know we have 2 other kids that have been teens of the month for us here this year. Listen, we are so blessed with great kids, and a lot of times what you do is you hear negative, and you see negative, and you hear all that. But we are very, very fortunate with the great kids that we have here at Canton Local. And, you know, Zoe, Kate, and Allison, I'm throwing you in just because you were there early and you sit up here. Just thank you. We appreciate you, and look forward to celebrating all of you guys over the next, really, 6 weeks, 5 weeks for you guys as seniors, and how fast that's going to go. Thank you guys very much. At this time, you guys are welcome to leave. If you want to leave, you're more than welcome also to hang out here for the rest of the board meeting, whatever you'd like to do, okay? Congratulations, guys. Thank you very much. Hey, our other seniors, just so you know, that are not here, I want to say it. Lyric Field, CC Nance, and then also Aiden Van Fossen. And again, we knew for sure Zoe was coming tonight, could not get the rest confirmed here with everything. And then we are not going to have a school report this evening.
All right, brings us to hearing in public. Have any?
I don't believe, no, but Mr. Knoll, was anything turned in? No.
All right, moving on. Okay, brings us to number 8, approval of the invoices.
I so move we pay the bills.
Second.
All right, any questions? If not, call the roll, please.
Mr. Knight?
Aye.
Mrs. Davis?
Aye.
Mr. Kvesky?
Aye.
Mr. Hamilton?
Aye.
Mr. Cole?
Aye. All right, thank you. All right, treasurer's report.
All right, just one thing tonight, the monthly financial reports. This is for the month ending March 31st, 2023. Exhibit TA1. I was testing everybody, so if you look at the first page there, the reconciled balance on the reconciliation is $14,845,939.65. The book balance, $11,845,939.65. So had a clerical error on that, just a $3 million difference. But I did catch that before, and I provided copies of the updated reconciliation. I also printed out the fund balance ledger and highlighted where it shows the fund balance was $14,845,000. So we weren't missing the $3 million. It was just a clerical error on that bottom line of the reconciliation. I actually might go ahead and include that as part of the packet now, so that way you can see that we balanced the ledger. So just an extra page I'll throw in there. Page 2 of the report is a listing of our investments, and then page 3, comparisons through the end of March this year versus last year. On the receipt side, we're $250,000 higher than where we were last year, and about $500,000 higher than our estimates. Those are mostly timing differences with real estate advances. We did receive our real estate settlement, final settlement from Stark County, but that happened in April. So we'll have a better picture of where we're at in May when we go over the financial reports, and then also the 5-year forecast has to be updated. So we'll present the 5-year forecast. We'll have a better look at our revenues for this year. One thing I did want to point out, and I mentioned it at our admin meeting this morning, we're really in what you would consider a flat revenue situation. When you look back our last 3 fiscal years, our revenues were about $25.2 million. Every single year, there was a variance of about $50,000 over the last 3 years out of a $25 million budget. So we saw those increases from 2014 through 2020, but the last 3 that public utility money has flattened out. So we've got to make sure that we're mindful of spending as revenues start to flatten out. Expenditures can't continue to increase at high levels. So we've been talking about that. Hope to have some updates on the May forecast, and then especially when we update the forecast for next year with our staffing levels and things like that. So something to keep in mind. That's the monthly financial reports for March. I recommend those for approval with the correction to the reconciliation.
Make a motion to accept the treasurer's report. Any questions? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Hamilton?
Aye.
Mr. Kvesky?
Aye.
Mr. Cole?
Aye.
Mrs. Davis?
Aye.
Mr. Knight?
Aye. Okay, that brings us to 10 communications. Committee reports.
Yep, so I'm going to let and start with Allison and Caden. If you guys want to start with your student rep to the board report, appreciate it.
All right, so the past few weekends we've had a lot going on. Last weekend we had our high school production of Clue, which went very well. I worked on the crew and a lot of people seem to enjoy it a lot. This Saturday, April 22nd, we have our senior citizens prom, which is our first one since COVID happened. Friday the 28th, we have our CTE honors breakfast with juniors and seniors who are nominated get to come and be celebrated. And then April 29th is our high school prom for juniors and seniors at La Pizzeria.
All right, just a couple more things. AP and air testing. I know a couple of underclassmen tests have already gone by with the air testing, but we still have a few more, and then AP tests usually line up at the first or second week of May. May 5th, our juniors are visiting the University of Akron just for a tour of the campus and to see kind of local colleges to look for next year. And then May 12th is our senior parade at 2 p.m. where all the seniors will travel around the halls of all the
Thanks, guys. Thank you very much. I love when they give their reports because I just sit here and cross off all the things I have. So you guys do a wonderful job. I really appreciate it. And we get one more month with you guys here to do that. So excited for it. As far as other reports, facilities, I just want to take a moment and talk to you. Here's the biggest thing. We are working very hard right now to apply for the grant that is the expansion of Career Tech. And that is to try for us, and I want to make sure you know, and Krista Gerhardt has done an amazing job working on this. There can only be one proposal per CTE organization. So for us, that's Perry, Sandy, East Canton, and obviously ourselves in the South Star Career Academy. So we're partnering with East Canton to put a proposal together that will include an HVAC program here at Canton Local Schools and an electrical engineering program at East Canton. That money would have to flow through us. We will work to get that. Obviously, it's a competitive grant. We are working to line up letters of support. We had meetings with the Stark Economic Board of Development. We had Hilsher Clark in here. We have Mr. Cole and Miller Heating is going to be a partner with us in cooling. We have Jennings Heating and Cooling on the line to be a partner with us as well as we work to get business and community support for these. One of the things, and this is a legislative update, and please don't freak out on this, but it's something that happened today. This is coming out of the governor's proposed budget. And the governor originally proposed $200 million to be divvied out. Well, as the House got that budget today, and Krista, correct me if I'm wrong, and Jason, I want to make sure I say this correctly, they cut that money out of the House today down to $100 million instead of $200 million. Now, still has to go through the Senate, there still has to be a lot of other process, but just something we are watching, and we are working very, very hard in scheduling days and meetings where we are working to get this grant because it is going to be a competitive process. There are no guarantees. One of the things you'll see on the agenda tonight is we're asking us to pass a resolution as a board stating our support for this. That's one of the requirements for us to apply for the grant is to show that the Board of Education, the superintendent, and the treasurer are all behind this. And so that's something we're going to ask you to do. And as we go through that, I'll get you more and more information with all the facilities as we get more, okay? As far as curriculum and programming, I know there's no update tonight. We'll continue to work through. Finance and audit, Jason, anything?
Nope.
Okay. And then as we move then to my superintendent update, guys, you guys did an awesome job. Really appreciate it. One thing I want to mention, the Exceptional Olympics are coming up on May 12th. That's over at Perry, like it is each year. Really excited for our kids to be a part of that. I know Allison already brought it up, but I want to mention it again. Clue, fantastic job. Steph Batzinger, I know her resignation is on this board agenda, but we have been blessed to have Steph in this district and the work she does for our kids. And just, she's going to be greatly missed. And she did an outstanding last performance. Appreciate all of you kids that were involved in that. It was a fun night being here Friday, watching. I heard Saturday went well, as also Mr. Moore told me that also. Some other things, just making sure you've got this weekend, busy weekend. Friday night, we host the middle school Star County track meet. That's going to be taking place here. We are going to have, I believe, 17 teams that are here. There's also going to be home softball. There's also going to be home tennis. So having a conversation with Mr. Moore, teams are going to start showing up here. We told them no earlier than 2:50. We're a little bit concerned that people may show up early. We're going to do an all-call tomorrow night and dismiss our students from the high school about 15 minutes early to make sure there's a safe, clean, get out of here before buses and people start pulling in. I would just hate for there to be an incident with our kids. That was Mr. Moore's idea. I support it 100%. So just keep you in the loop, but a big night here Friday night as well with everything. We figure that 15 minutes is well spent not to have any issues with kids and buses and, you know, just young drivers with everything. So, hey guys, you're getting out 15 minutes early. Actually, you may be out already, so it won't benefit you with that. My last thing is just, we are excited. We're bringing back Mitch Rossell May 13th. It'll be before our next board meeting. Really, really excited to bring him back. We are currently working right now to try to get a lineup in place for next year. We're working with a band, Mr. Speed, who Mr. Cole told us about. They're a KISS tribute band. We thought we had a day lined up for them already, but it's not going to work on that September 30th on their side. So we're working on something like a Merry Kissmas, like to get a little bit closer to Christmas. That was their idea. But we are going to continue to look to use this building as much as we can to bring community events in, and we're really looking forward to Mitch coming back here on the 13th and bringing his full band this time with everything. Okay, and that's really all I have right now.
All right, thank you, sir. Okay, that brings us to the superintendent's report.
Yep. So guys, as we move through resignation and retirement, item A, Steph Fatzinger, Dulcie Myers, Colleen Seidel, and Carissa Deeds all have submitted their resignation for next year, and I recommend that we accept them. As we move to employment for item B, there's only 3. Alyssa Williams is a student worker that we're asking to approve at that student worker rate of $10.10 per hour. That is to take care of the animals over the summer coming in here in the animal science program, and we just need to make sure that they're taken care of, and that's our recommendation. The next one, Kendra Riston and Jen Williams, they were coaches for our elementary math team. We did not get them approved with the middle school, and that's my fault, but we'd like to ask that they could be approved so they could be paid for the work they did to support our students with the math tournament. And I recommend, obviously, that we approve all of those under item B. Item number C here, the urgent necessity to waive competitive bidding for the Canton South High School restroom renovations. As we discussed in the last meeting, the special meeting, about wanting to do the renovations, we did get a bid back in of $347,000, and that is something we think is within where we feel comfortable going. The reason why we're going with the urgent necessity on this is we need this done. We have a model down at the middle school right now that has shown us that these restroom facilities work, they help eliminate issues, and this allows us to ensure that if we can get this going, we get it started as soon as we can when kids walk out of this building and have it all ready to go for when they open next year. And that's why we're asking you to approve it this way here with the urgent necessity. So obviously it's my recommendation that we approve that. Gifts and donations, always thankful for our people that donate. Ruth and Jerry Ivo, the Canton South Advanced Educational Foundation, an anonymous donation. When you see those large sums from the boys basketball and girls basketball, if you remember back in February, we hosted the youth basketball tournament here. Those donations are coming in based off of hosting that tournament here. The other money is staying within the youth organization that ran it there to work with everything. Use of school facilities, item E. Our associate principal at Faircrest, Mike Gerholi, has submitted a request again. Mike did a great job with the fitness day for the community last year, and we'd like to bring that back on May 6th, and I obviously would recommend that we grant him access to our facilities to run that. Item F is exactly what we had on. This is really just a second reading. These are Neola updates and revisions. Nothing really special there, but this is asking now that we would approve those and move forward with item F, and I recommend that we approve those adoptions. Item G is Mr. Vrabik has submitted a request to accompany students to the CTE Student Skills USA Conference in Columbus next week, and obviously we want him to be able to take our students and do that. We are looking to bring in, we were going to bring in our CTE students that had qualified this month, but there's still some competing. So our thought was, let's wait till we have them all. We're going to bring them in the May meeting to recognize them prior to the meeting as well. But it's my recommendation that we approve item G. If you look at H and I, I'm just going to take those two together, guys. This is the second reading of our handbook and our course registration that we talked about at the last meeting. It's just second reading. I'm asking that we approve both of those. Item J, this is what I just talked about in our facilities report. This is a resolution asking that the board supports the expansion of the HVAC program here at Canton Local, obviously if we receive the Career Tech grant. And so that's basically what we are asking, is that we support it and move forward with it here. And obviously I recommend it, and I'm excited about the possibility of this maybe happening. Item K, this is our education agreement between multi-county and Canton Local Schools. I met with Jamie McKenzie, who's the superintendent over there. This needs to be updated every 2 years. Both Jamie and I are happy with how this education is going, and this is just our standard. The kids that have to be incarcerated over there at the Multi-County Detention Center, we're responsible for their education, but we bill them back. They pay us for the services rendered. All we really did on this agreement, because both of us are happy with how it's going, is change the dates. There's nothing different than what's been approved in the past here in any way, other than we rolled it over for another 2 years. But Jamie and I had a great conversation and really appreciate his support and his leadership over there at Multi-County. I recommend that we would approve item K. Item L, these are two here. I'm going to start with the one on the bottom first, policy 8390. This is a Neola update that I did not have for you, that should have been in with that big packet last time. I wanted to take a little bit more time and make sure that we check the boxes and things that we wanted. And basically what we are doing is we are asking to allow therapy dogs or therapy animals that are licensed here but we are not permitting emotional support animals at this time. Just opening up that people being able to bring in emotional support. If they are licensed therapy dogs, if they are service dogs, if they're things like that, yes, absolutely. But making sure that they have all the proper licensure with that. And that was one of the options we could select. We took a little bit more time to really think through and talk about it, and that's why the first reading of that is tonight on here. That is not an approval, but that is a Neola update. This first one that's listed on there, the second one I'm going to talk about is our use of school facilities and grounds for youth organizations. And this is something that we have talked about, and I appreciate the support and the conversations I've had with many of you on this. But this is something we drafted up ourselves to ensure that when we are promoting a youth organization or allowing them to use our facilities for free, that our parents and our community can know that they've met certain qualifications. And I am going to take the time to go over those. One, that they are a 501c3 organization. Two, that their board members, coaches, volunteers, anybody working with them have been background checked, and that they meet the exact same standards that we would use as a board to be able to employ or approve someone as a volunteer to work within any school district in Ohio. The third, it adds a stipulation that the treasurer of those organizations not only be background checked for that, but also they would be also responsible for not having a 291301 charges on there as well, meaning any type of fraud, theft, anything like that. That, again, is the exact same standard that Jason would have to meet to be a treasurer of a school district. And again, it just keeps consistent with all that. Our next is that we're asking that they have the approval of our coaches and our administration. And I shouldn't say coaches because it could be director. This could become a youth band. This could be a youth singing group. And maybe we want to make sure that Amy Hogue has the ability to vet them out and that Jeff Moore is okay with them being in there as well. And finally, that we would have the right to inspect their books at any time if we saw anything that, again, not for us to correct, but if we saw any concerns, we could ship it off to the proper place of where it would need to be. And this is just to provide our community with the security that if we're bringing them in to use our facilities rent-free, if we're promoting them, that they're meeting the same standards as the people that we would be putting in front of them in the classroom or anywhere else. So I'm asking that we approve it. Obviously, this is a first reading here tonight as well. Okay, and both of those are first readings. Next, item M, resolution to approve attorney-client fee contact and authorized litigation. We are looking to join in. There's another mass tort lawsuit. We just joined in the one with 1,300 other schools across the nation for electronic cigarettes and jewels. This one we are looking at is for social media and for the harm on mental health that's been done to students and teenagers across this country due to the algorithms and things that they use to keep kids addicted and on there. We are going to look to, I'm asking that we look to join in that lawsuit with, I know, a multitude of other schools from around this area. I don't know 100%, but I do believe it's something that, you know, we as Canton Local should look to join in as well. And approving that is basically just getting us started the exact same way we did years ago with the Jewel lawsuit. The final one for me then is item N, Sunday use of school facilities. Adam Hall, our head girls basketball coach and dean of students, has submitted a request for the use of Red Ash Gym and or the auxiliary gym for Sunday skill workouts with high school and middle school and youth basketball students through August. And this is just because you're constantly battling sports. He'd like to be able to, on Sunday afternoons, early evenings, bring kids in and do individual skill workouts. And obviously being on a Sunday, these would all be voluntary, but at least having the ability to have the gym open and for times for kids to come in here and work. And I would recommend items A through N.
All right, I so move on items A through N.
We'll see.
With the exception of item C.
Second. Second. All right. We have a motion. Any questions? If not, call the roll.
Mr. Cole?
Aye.
Mr. Hamilton?
Aye.
Mr. Knight?
Aye.
Mr. Koveski?
Aye.
Mrs. Davis?
Aye.
All right, now, we will consider item C.
Second.
We have a motion?
I have a motion
Oh.
on item C. Do we have a second from Scott? Any questions? If not, call the roll, please.
Mr. Cole?
Aye.
Mr. Hamilton?
Aye.
Mr. Knight?
Aye.
Mr. Koveski?
Abstain.
And Mrs. Davis?
Aye.
All right, thank you.
Okay, we move on to informational items, board concerns, legislative. Legislative, we already mentioned the budget, it's a big issue. Several things we've been talking about in recent weeks or months are now in some of the committees, and we're just watching them, which includes the taxation, the vouchers, the changing of the Department of Education. So those are all in committees right now, and we'll just watch and see how they progress. Okay. All right, other business? No?
Hey, the only thing, I guess I should ask this in other business. Our next regular board meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, May 16th, 7 p.m. One of the things I did not check, and this is my fault, and I have this put up, in here that night is a middle school choir concert. Or not choir, yeah, choir concert. It's totally up to you guys if we keep it that night. That is the night we bring in our retirees. What we were thinking, if you want to keep it that way, and by the way, this is your decision, just throwing out the option. If we want to keep it that night, we could go do the cafeteria and do the meet down there, and then honestly, maybe even move the meeting into the community room so I don't have to scream and yell as we go, or just move it down that way. Is everybody good with that?
I think that's a good idea.
And then we'll come back to here for June.
All right. Yes. So the 16th, we'll still have the meeting the 16th.
Yep, I just wanted to bring that up in other business to make sure.
It'll just be moved to initially cafeteria and then into the community room.
That's correct, and it would just be the celebration earlier. That won't be an actual board meeting. The official board meeting will have set up in the community room.
Still at 7.
Yeah, still at 7 o'clock.
Okay, thank you. All right, any questions pertaining to agenda items or board action? Okay, we'll move on to any executive session. If not, we'll have a motion for adjournment.
So move we adjourn. Second.
We have a second. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Kveski?
Aye.
Mr. Cole? Aye. Mrs. Davis?
Aye.
Mr. Knight?
Aye.
Mr. Hamilton?
Aye.
Okay, thank you for coming.
All right, yeah, thanks, everyone.